The night was heavy with humidity, the kind that makes the air cling to your skin and every movement feel like a burden. Downtown was quiet except for the hum of streetlights and the occasional bark of a stray dog. John Kennedy walked with purpose, his uniform crisp, his badge gleaming faintly under the orange glow of the lamps. He wasn't just another officer, he carried authority far beyond the eyes could see. But to most people who looked at him, all they saw was his skin, and that night, one man in particular saw only that. Captain Mark Reeves had a reputation that ran through the department like wildfire. He was old school, rough-edged, and dangerous in his bias. He believed in hierarchy, but his hierarchy wasn't just about rank, it was about color. To him, respect wasn't earned through merit or law, but through prejudice. And when his eyes landed on John Kennedy, walking alone, Reeves' temper flared before a word was spoken. "Hey, you," Reeves barked, his boots pounding against the pavement as he closed in. "What do you think you're doing around here at this hour?" Kennedy stopped. He turned slowly, calm and steady, his posture betraying no fear. "I'm on official duty," he said evenly. His voice carried the weight of discipline, but Reeves wasn't listening. "Official duty?" Reeves sneered, his eyes narrowing as he took in Kennedy's face. "Don't lie to me. I've seen your kind sneaking around where you don't belong." Before Kennedy could respond, Reeves grabbed him roughly by the collar, slamming him hard against the hood of a parked car. The metallic thud echoed down the empty street. Pain shot through Kennedy's ribs, but he remained silent. He knew what was coming wasn't about law or order, it was about hatred, raw and unfiltered. "You think you can wear that badge and walk these streets like you own AM?" Reeves spat, pressing his forearm into Kennedy's back. "Not on my watch. Not while I'm captain." The car hood grew warm under Kennedy's cheek as anger burned through him. But instead of resisting, he whispered, "Captain, a broken bar, you don't know who you're dealing with." Reeves laughed cruelly. "Oh, I know exactly who I'm dealing with. A fraud in a uniform." It was then that Kennedy reached into his jacket pocket, slow and deliberate, pulling out the leather folder. Reeves shoved him harder against the car, thinking he was reaching for a weapon. But when the folder snapped open, the truth illuminated the darkness like a bolt of lightning. Inside was a federal commission card, embossed with the seal of the Department of Justice. Beneath it, his title was unmistakable: Deputy Federal Marshal, Special Operations Division. Reeves froze. The grip on Kennedy's shoulder loosened as his eyes darted back and forth between the badge and Kennedy's face. His lips parted, but no words came. He had slammed a federal officer against a Kara, an officer who, by law, outranked him, a man with power that extended far beyond a city precinct. Kennedy finally stood upright, brushing the dust from his uniform. He didn't yell, didn't strike back, didn't even curse. Instead, he looked Reeves square into the eye and said, "The law you swore to uphold does not bend to your prejudice. Tonight, you reminded me of why I wear this badge, and not just to protect, but to hold men like you accountable." Reeves' face turned pale. For the first time in his career, he felt the crushing weight of his actions pressing back against him. His authority, once untouchable in his mind, was now crumbling under the undeniable truth of the law. He stammered, "Yeah, I didn't know a broken bar." "That's the problem," Kennedy cut him off. "You didn't care to know." Within minutes, two federal vehicles pulled up. Kennedy had radioed them earlier, sensing trouble might come. The sight of agents stepping out of the cars made Reeves step back, his shoulders sinking under the realization of what he had done. He wasn't the predator anymore. He was prey, caught in the web of his own arrogance. As Reeves was taken aside for questioning, Kennedy stood silently, watching the man's world unravel. It wasn't satisfaction he felt, it was sorrow. Sorrow that men like Reeves still existed, men blinded by hate when they should be guided by justice. But more than sorrow, Kennedy felt resolve. The next morning, news spread across the department like wildfire. Some whispered in disbelief, others in shame. But for young recruits and officers of color, Kennedy's name became a symbol. He wasn't just another man in uniform, he was proof that dignity could withstand brutality, that law could silence hate, and that strength was not found in violence but in restraint. Weeks later, Reeves was stripped of his command and placed under investigation. Kennedy, meanwhile, was promoted to oversee federal operations in the region, his authority now undisputed. Yet he carried no bitterness. Instead, he used the incident as a story for his trainees, teaching them that courage wasn't about who shouted the loudest or who hit the hardest. It was about standing firm in the face of injustice, armed with nothing but truth. And so, what began as a night of humiliation ended as a testament to resilience. John Kennedy didn't just rise above the racist captain's assault. He reminded everyone that law, when wielded with integrity, has the power to silence even the loudest voices of hate. By the end of his story, Kennedy often said one line that echoed long after his words faded: "Respect is not given because of the color of your skin, nor taken away by it. True respect is earned by how you uphold justice even when justice isn't on your side." And that was the legacy he left behind.